So already we're starting to see an indication of that the free city of Senay is a very non-indicative name. This is like Robin Hood, isn't it? It's like the Sheriff of Nottingham. I still have a bit of a soft spot for the Disney Robin Hood. I mean, I do think objectively it's far from the best, but I do think it would make a decent Kingdom Hearts world, and Robin Hood would be a great party member in Kingdom Hearts. I probably said this before, actually. I feel like I have said this before in a Fire Emblem playthrough too, but I just don't know, like, because, like, all of its villains are just kind of jokes, so there wouldn't really be a good enough, you know, fodder for a decent boss fight, but there could be, like, a giant Heartless or something. Or they could even go the way of Kingdom Hearts 3 with the Tangled and Frozen worlds and actually have, like, the Sheriff of Nottingham turn into a Heartless. That actually could work. Or they already used a giant wolf. So, back to this game. We've got a little bit of backstory here. Prince Barker treating this place with mercy, even though they started with the enemy. Yeah, the more we learn about Canaan, the more they actually seem to be pretty decent people, apart from the one who rules them. Well, you know, I feel like if the prince got wind of what you're doing, then he probably would just kick you out, so maybe, if this guy realized how honorable the prince was, then this bluff wouldn't work. Also, this guy, like this guy's design just screams evil, corrupt noble. While this guy has a whip in his portrait, which, unless you're Franziska von Karma, I mean, he has a cravat as well, but yeah, unless you're Franziska von Karma, usually whips, or Arm from Persona 5, usually whips don't mean anything good. I mean, they ace trainers in Pokemon stop using whips for a reason. Like, Game Freak realized that they couldn't really portray that sympathetically at all. Oh, of course. Everyone is afraid of the cult, it seems, but they definitely have good reason to, given what happened last chapter. I also like how this fan translation calls this other noble Carnel, because his Japanese name could translate to Colonel, like K-E-R-N-A-L, as in like Kernel of Corn, which sounds pretty underwhelming. Ah yes, two corrupt nobles sniping about the rumours they hear about each other that definitely aren't true. Okay, Selba's pretty close by. And even this late into the story, well, semi-late into the, like, we're kind of into the sort of early mid-game now, but we're still dealing with bandits. Ah yes, you're going the whole I for one welcome our new ex-overlords direction. Being like, you know, they're gonna win, so we should get in their good graces while we still can. So there's an actual Richard in this game who's known as the Lion Prince, but he's not the Lionheart. Lionheart is a different person. Lionheart seems to be leading some kind of rebellion, and he's not one to mess with. Oh, yeah, you're gonna make her say where the rebel base is. Yeah, because now it's become Star Wars. Saga's already established himself as a complete arsehole. Isn't this guy gonna notice that she has, like, severe bleeding and is unconscious? Yeah, and he realized what was happening. So here is another name this fan translation accidentally predicted for Three Houses, but, yeah, I actually do like this translation. Distance your mind from the Three Houses character because she's nothing like her at all. Although they are both associated with a similar weapon. But her Japanese name literally translates as Lenny. So that's probably... yeah, like, I would have, like, thought Renee could work, but that's also the name of another character in this game. But yeah, if you do, like, if you can read katakana, you will see that you can potentially get Lenny out of her Japanese name, so I'm glad they didn't go with that. Yes, you're gonna have a very aggressive and hopefully brutal chat with your superior. So, in for our next destination, we have the Imperial Army, led by this guy. Yeah, his stats are pathetic, just like Coda, but he does have a steel blade. And a whole bunch of Imperials. It's actually kind of funny, these guys are called Imperials, not Canaanite. We also have Mince is with the enemy, and he's pretty strong overall, and also has... Flurry, Wrath and Flurry, pretty good skills, and the 15th Corpsmen, who are actually pretty well equipped, including a couple of Great Knights, even a Mage Knight too. Sadly, Mage Knight is an enemy-only class in this game. I mean, maybe not sadly, because their stats seem to be pretty pathetic, but you can't ever recruit a Mage Knight. But here's the elephant in the room, this guy, Ernst. the superior that, Mintz was trying to find. Yep, he's the same class as Naren, and it shows. He also has Soul, Pavis, Nile, Adept, and Charisma, and he has multiple shields, including one that is defense against wind magic, a shield blade that can increase defense when equipped, 11 sword, and also a ward blade to increase resistance, which gives him a defense of 38 and resistance of 10, as well as 20 attack speed. We do not want to pick a fight with this person at all, to unfortunately quote a bad movie. But there's also the Senay Guard, who seem to be kind of like a neutral party in this. Some Myrmidon's warriors, and also a Lady Knight named Sharon. And this guy, the Wild Ox of Barge. And anybody who is a member of the TearRing Saga fandom, you probably know who this guy is. He has a reputation, let's just say. Bilford, the Wild Ox, otherwise known as Ultra Instinct Bilford. I'm looking forward to explaining why. Oh, she can't even use Hellfire yet. I've moved items around a bit here. Rudin still has the Steel Shield from the sadly departed boss of the previous map. I've given an extra physics staff to enter. Zieg, Raffen, and Naren's inventories haven't really changed. I've given Raffen an extra pylon. Raquel has a few more bows, as well as my money bags and the Goddess Potion, which I'm planning on selling. Narcissus Theft will not affect your money bags, and you might want to bring some to this chapter, because there's an item here you can buy that costs 10,000 gold. I have stripped Plum's inventory, but given her back Land's Mirror. Plum is going to go through an event in this chapter where she will lose everything she has except Land's Mirror, so make sure that you strip her inventory apart from, well, Land's Mirror. I don't know if Land's Mirror is essential to this event, but I'm going to treat it as if it is, so I'm going to give it to her just in case. And here are all these Leaven swords that I have. I suppose you can take one of them for now. I was about to say, oh, maybe Runin could use one of them, but he doesn't have enough mastery. I think he just needs one more. And he's close to leveling. I'll just put one in his inventory, just for now. And that should be us all set for items. Our next destination is the free, in air quotes, city of Senay. It's time to move out to, in my opinion, one of the strangest chapters in the game. Maybe not the strangest, but it's a very strange chapter. Unwelcome arrival in the free, giant air quotes, city of Senay. And we got this music again. Yeah, we'll be hearing this music a lot from now on. And yeah, as you can see, Ernst's giant force up here is mostly away from the action. Instead, we've got a bunch of mercenaries in town. And a couple of shops. And this house, you actually can visit it, it's important. As well as that house, which is also important. And also some guys defending the castle, but no boss, at least not yet. So we can bring everyone but one. I guess Norton will sit this one out as well, but you do have to be a bit careful here because the enemies are quite close to you from the start of the map. You also want to bring Raffen. Definitely bring Raffen. You will need him in this map. So, yeah, I already managed items, so let's go. We're gonna enter, head out. Okay, Raffen's going a little bit further back than I thought he would. And Rune automatically runs over here and goes into this house to visit the mayor. The same mayor who was talking to that, the whip man earlier. I guess they say free as in neutral. But I mean, they say they maintain maintain neutrality, but at the same time, they're clearly siding with the Empire. And yet, you pay taxes to somebody who is, again, clearly supporting the Empire and plans to sell you out to the cult as well. This is the leader of those mercenaries we could see from the world map. But if the city hired you as a guard, then we're probably going to be fighting you if we stay in the city any longer. Okay then, at first I thought I agreed with you, I was like, yeah, the mayor is a fool, but no, it's, you're like, oh yeah, the mayor is a fool because he didn't hire a girl. Yeah, nice one there, Bilford. Knights of Barge, and that is why you need to bring Raph in here. Because they're from his old kingdom. So I think a bit of a reunion is in order. Yeah, Barge is a fallen kingdom, so that's why all of its former knights are forced to make a living as mercenaries. And yes, they're actually calling Raffin by name. Basically everything he says is some variant of, yes, milady, I live to serve. So, that's disturbing, but we want to remember the location of that house. This chapter there's not a lot going on in terms of actual, combat, but in terms of story events, this chapter is quite a tangled web, so hopefully I'll try and talk you through most of it. There's a few things we need to do in this map. And one of which that involves mints is very complicated and something that a lot of guides had wrong. I was actually looking forward to this chapter the most out of many chapters in this game. Between you and the slave camps of Zoa, wow. I wanted to fully explain the mints event in this map because it's very often misunderstood exactly how it works. But I can't talk about it just yet. Well, that's a good sign. They were busy burning your own men in the previous chapter. Yeah, so they are specifically designed to prevent enemies from advancing north through the grasslands. That's actually would be kind of a cool place in a fantasy setting, but no, the grasslands. So if you don't go near them, they won't fight you. So don't go near them, because you do not want to fight Ernst at all. I don't know if it's like, if you have a very strong Naren, maybe it would be technically possible to beat Ernst now, I don't know, but you're definitely not supposed to. Minst has some great lines. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's really not your problem if that happens. So, why is Mince planning on disappearing? Ah. I see. So yeah, it's turn 1, and this is... Okay, so this is kind of strange, because they never really explained to you that we're actually supposed to cut through the city and get to the castle here. I guess Eugen was just so offended by the way these mercenaries acted that he decided, yeah, let's just fight them. So, Sharon and Bilford, obviously you don't want to fight these two. So you want to stay the heck out of their range. But everybody else in this city is fair game. So you can feel free to just send Zieg and other people down to take them out. Let's see. I think Zieg will go... where can Naren go, actually? Yeah, Naren can't really go a lot of places, and where he can go is a little restricted, because if he gets near Sharon or Bilford, we need to keep him away from them for their own safety. But our plan is to get Raffen over to Sharon. Because she was the one who mentioned Raffen by name. Oh, hi, Swordbreaker. Nobody here's equipping a sword, are they? That guy's probably got better accuracy than I've forgotten the name of the boss back in Coda's chapter, but yeah, that guy. Zeke always has a really high crit rate. Also, enemy Myrmidons look different to your Myrmidons for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but yeah, enemy Myrmidons have a different sprite than, say, Vega. Okay, so again, stay out of range, but also make sure Raffen goes as close as possible to the enemy. In fact, I think if you deploy, like, if you arrange your deployment slots differently, Raffen can reach Sharon on turn 1. Again, I think. I'm not... But I seem to remember that may have been the case. I'll get Mariel closer. Runen, yeah, let's just be careful of Runen a bit. I'll go here. How much? Okay, how much? Runen has defense 16. Which means that it seems like your strongest shield is taken into account before any weaker shields. Which is kind of... like, I don't know, I'd probably rather use the weaker shields first, but that's just me. Yeah, at this point, this chapter's a bit weird. We're just gonna have to slowly advance forward where we can. Don't go up there, because you don't want to fight Mince's squad at all. But on the other hand, Plum needs to advance forward as well. I think with that, we'll just let the rest of them come to us. Getting healed by the house, which is kind of funny. Normally we do that, because in general, when enemies touch houses, it's usually because they're bandits and they want to destroy them. Pretty ominous theme for just a bunch of mercenaries. Invaders, is that what the mayor's telling you? Yeah, they were kind of getting paid for doing absolutely nothing before. But I mean, I suppose if you're hired as guards, then, you know, you don't really have to do anything unless there's a situation. You just need to stay alert. So we're no common thieves, but, oh, she's moving. I forgot that she moved. That's really annoying, because Raffin needs to get to her, and quickly. She does only have 4 move, so... Oh, you have a Brave Lance, too. That's dangerous. At least I have a shield. And I'll probably just, Merial nuke you. Please gain Mastery. Oh. No 11 swords yet. Okay, I need to clear the way soon, because... Oh, wow, you're really... That's... I've never seen them do this before. This is not good. Because I think, yeah, Raffin needs to talk to Sharon. I don't think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, though, if I clear these enemies out right now, which is going to be somewhat difficult, but I can blast you. I think the Brave weapons are called Master weapons in the Japanese version, like they are in Fire Emblem 5, although they got, oh, yeah, speaking of gratuitous German in Japanese games, they actually got localized as gratuitous German. Which I do like better than just them being called Master weapons, especially since Master Sword sounds like they're ripping off Zelda, but, although again, because of the whole Australian slang bogan that I was mentioning earlier, the weapon that Leaf has in having it just be called Meister Bogan is just kind of, it just sounds really silly to me, but that's just an Australian thing. Okay, so Naren, 20, and I double, yeah, that should be good. The main thing I need to worry about, though, is whether Bilford will kamikaze himself against Naren, which I really don't want him to do. And that's a warrior, by the way. Now, I hope I didn't miscount on movement. Okay, good. Raffin can reach Sharon. Now, there are actually 2 reasons why you want Raffin to reach Sharon. I do want that sellsword kind of dead, though. She doesn't have enough mastery to use, like, javelins or anything. Although... Okay, that's actually kind of hilarious. I would need to move Rune for that. And I want to move him to a place where, like, you know, he can't get attacked by anything major, but, also, so I don't want Bilford to suicide into Raffin, but, so here's the plan, which I always picture in a Scottish accent now because of Wargroove, and that character is awesome. Okay, I'm putting you down to 6, and then Tom, 19 attack versus defense 5. Tom does do enough, even if I only hit you once with, Raquel. Although Tom needs to hit. Raquel could potentially crit as well. Or activate Adept. Or Adept, or however you say it. Okay, wait, that brought you down to, yeah, 11. Yeah, 5. 19, yeah, Tom should do enough. That's a, like, I can't believe I'm actually relying on Tom to defeat an enemy here. Yeah, thankfully Bilford can't reach because of LOL 3 movements. So, I should also mention, you don't need Raffin to recruit Sharon and Bilford. They will join automatically if you finish the chapter and they're still alive. I guess, Caesar and Rad in New Mystery of the Emblem, and there are a lot of Fire Emblem characters who work that way. But, that's not how you want to do this. You want to talk to Sharon with Raffin. It is very, very, very important. Because if you don't do this, you miss out on a very, very important event. I should also mention that Sharon does have Mathis syndrome. She'll attack Raffin if he's in her range, so watch out for that. So, yeah, it seems like Sharon is actually Raffin's sort of ex-girlfriend. And she's a pretty angry ex-girlfriend too. Sort of understandably, but yeah, she has needed to vent a bit, and now she's fine. So yeah, she seems pretty great. So they do justify that the other mercenaries don't join up with you after that, and yeah, Bilford is not recruited yet, unfortunately. So I actually do need to. I mean, I could attack him with Sharon if I wanted. I'll give both of their bios after I've recruited the two of them. So I have, yeah, 19 versus that does enough, and wow, I actually have guaranteed hit on you too. That's insane. I mean, 3 move isn't that much of a problem when you start so close to the enemies already. But that's probably all Tom's really doing for the remainder of the map. And now, somebody needs to run in there and plug the gap, otherwise Bilford is going to be dumb and get himself killed. Let me just see with the slim sword. Oh yeah, he has 19 defense, although I'm going to waste a use of his iron shield that way. Iron Blade, though, 24 attack versus... He does almost kill her, I just realized. 24, yeah, he barely leaves her alive, but it's better than him dying to Naren, I guess, because the only other enemies here... Well, I mean, there's that guy, but, well, he's about to get zigged in the face. It's a weird thing to say, but it makes sense in context. Weird Sprite Myrmidon is down. I repeat, Weird Sprite Myrmidon is down. Oh, you have all my gold, don't? Yeah, you have all my gold. So I'm going to need to get you to a shops quickly to sell that off, because there's the thing to buy for 10,000 golds in that house. Yeah, this map is a very weird one. It's a huge gold mine of events, many of which are really useful. Let's get... I don't want... I mean, yeah, Bilford actually does hit really hard, so maybe... And you don't want to seize too soon in this chapter, I'll also say. Like, you actually want to be careful and do not aggro the guards at the castle yet. If you have a flyer, and, like, if you don't care about story, I do recommend putting Sasha in Rudin's party. If you have a flyer, then I would recommend... You don't, like, instantly die to Bilford, do you? I mean, you have a shield, but, yeah. I just need to get closer so I can recruit Bilford as soon as possible. I guess here, maybe. I'll just equip the bow gun, just so I won't counter. Sasha can just easily fly across this river and start aggroing these guys, and she's generally strong enough to take on all of them. Don't do this, though. You will ruin an event that happens later in the map if you do. I mean, if you're speedrunning and don't care about events, then it's probably fine, but anyway. Oh, I'm so sorry, Esther, that you have to face the full force of Ultra Instinct Bilford. Well, unless he crits, it's not quite the last thing she'll ever see. But it's almost the last thing she'll ever see. Bilford gets doubled by base level, by basically base speed, Esther. That's not a point in his favor. Oh yeah, this guy has a ton of defense thanks to having a shield. And even Starlight isn't going to one-shot him because of his HP, so I'm probably going to need to rely on the services of Raquel here. Yeah, that should be... Oh, I only do 2 damage. So I do 4, and then she does 28. Actually, 28 plus 4 is exactly enough. So that's actually kind of amusing. This Is this? No, this isn't going to break his shield. He hasn't taken damage yet. Or I could crit or a death. That would be kind of nice too. Yep, yeah, that set that up just fine. So, kaboom time. Exactly enough damage. That's always satisfying when you see that. That's why, like, reminds me of, I know it's weird to compare the two situations, but whenever I have, like, the exact amount of coins in my wallet to pay for something, it's always so satisfying. Okay, we're kind of... Well, actually, we have killed all of the remaining mercenaries. So, hi there, Bilford. Get in my army. Stop brutalizing Esther, please. And with that, now I can talk about Sharon. If you really want to use a Lady Knight / Bow Knight, you may as well use Sharon. She has a better starting level, base stats, and growth rates than Kate, and also gets Flurry, which is a great skill with bows, and she supports Raffin. But Bow Knight is still not a great class, and generally considered to be not the best use of a Knight's Crest. That's honestly all there is to say about Sharon. She's definitely okay if you want to use her, and make sure you talk to her with Raffin as long as he's on Runan's route, which he should be, because you really, really want to. And Bilford! I'll actually be honest here, most of the memes about Bilford went over my head. I wasn't really part of the TearRing Saga community when he was memed, or at least the sector of the community that memed him. But from my understanding, the reason why he's such a meme is that he's an armor knight with a 5% move growth. Now, in practice, this is only on average 1 point of movement in 20 levels, and he needs to gain movement twice to put him to the average for a promoted foot unit since he promotes to general, not great knights. His growths are overall decent for this game, and he has alright base stats, including very good starting mastery, and his overall skills are really great apart from Nile. Wrath and Pavese are a great combo on someone with high defense and HP. Overall though, even with the move growth, Bilford is held back by his class, but you might want to send him over to Holmes' route the next chance you get and grind him a bit just to see if you get lucky, because if you do, he can actually be really fun. And now, yeah, the rest of the map is going to be focused on... mostly on a certain event that will be starting soon, but before that, yeah, Raffin can go over here. Let's just be kind of careful, because you don't want to block off this area. Because while, like, okay, very soon, Mintz is going to rush forward towards the castle, and you don't want to aggro the defenders until he gets there. But even though Mintz is essentially on our side at this point, he is still an enemy unit, so he can't move through our units. Because of this, it's possible to inadvertently end up blocking him, and that's not good. In fact, it's the only way that you can kind of quote-unquote fail this event. Oh yeah, she needs healing badly. Let's just go ahead and just regular heal staff you. I don't remember there being anything particularly good in the armory or shop, but watch there be pylons here. Where can you go? Yeah, you can go all the way down there, so I guess I'll put Julia there. Yeah, because the others are just going to set ourselves up for, like OMG, let's totally go shopping. That was just my favourite in a dramatic reading of My Immortal, where the reader just read that in a really deadpan tone. There are just some things that just, I guess TV tropes, the comically serious trope is for that, but there are some things that just sound funny when they're done in a deadpan way. By the way, the image on the TV tropes page for the comically serious is hilarious in its own right. I recommend looking at it. I don't want to spoil what it is, but it's pretty great. So, Mintz is worried about the girl, that girl being Leonie. And so because of that, we're gonna kind of try and get as close as we can here. You also might want to start saving at this point, because you don't want, if you lure the defenders before Mince does his thing, then this event will get wrecked. But I'll talk more about this event after we talk about another event that I think is going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen right now. Oh boy, this event. So, this event, I cannot believe this got into the game, but you need to visit this house with Plum. And if you saw the conversation at the start of this chapter, they're literally right next to you, but, you know, gameplay and story segregation. I'll just take this opportunity to say, let this be a lesson to everyone. Do not accept milk from strangers in a bar you just wandered into, who give you free drinks. It's a really terrible idea. Especially if you're alone, don't do it. At least you're smart enough to freak out upon seeing that guy. Oh, no, he's not. No, he isn't. So, I don't know like how many first-time players freaked out and reset if they did that in their first playthrough, but as disturbing as this sounds, that actually gets you something really, really good later. You need to do that to set up the first part of Plum's subplot. So, yeah, I really do not know how they got away with that in this game. But they did, somehow. And that's what you actually have to do to pursue Plum's full side quest, which gets you something, again, gets you something really good. So you want to do Plum's side quest, but the fact that you actively have to go out of your way to get her kidnapped, yeah, it's disturbing. Let's not dwell on that. But instead, I'm going to dwell on selling a whole lot of stuff, including this. I don't care about the luck stats, so I'm just going to sell the Goddess Potion. Now we have over 4,000. Now we have over 10,000 gold. We can enter this house and take care of the second major event of this chapter. No, wait, third, because first it's talk to Sharon with Raffin, then it's get Plum kidnapped, and then it's go here. And then there's a fourth event, and the fourth is the most complicated of all. Yeah, this free city of Senay, well, I mean, I guess it's free in that it has no law enforcement and criminals are free to do whatever they want. In other words, only Pegasus Knights. This is the promotion item for Pegasus Knights, and there are only 2 of these in the game, I believe. There might be a way to get one as a random chest item later, but there probably is now I think about it. But this costs 10,000 gold, so I'm gonna get this. Now, most people don't like to promote Pegasus Knights, because they lose their massive magic stat to do a lot of damage with Levin Swords. Personally, though, I think that later on in the game, Saga benefits a little bit more from being a Wyvern Knight than she does from being a Pegasus Knight, because the extra points of strength she gains on promotion do help out when enemies get a little tougher and Levin Swords don't quite cut it anymore. But I'm going to hold off on using it for a while. I'm probably going to instead use a I almost call it a super proof, which is its Japanese name. Use an occult book on her instead, and get her to like a level 30 Pegasus Knight. But I like that, and I just wanted to show that event because that's how you get the first Wyvern Flute. The second Wyvern Flute is available much later on. Like, I believe after chapter 30, so yeah, that is way later on. And in fact, I don't think there are enough to promote every Pegasus Knight into a Wyvern Knight. However, okay, yeah, so Mince is heading forward. However, as I was saying, you generally don't want to promote Pegasus Knights in this game anyway, and I guess, technically speaking, there are enough to promote all the Pegasus Knights who start as Pegasus Knights. Because Sasha, technically, like, her becoming a Pegasus Knight is a bonus that not all players will realize. So, yeah, I guess technically it's... you could maybe not, need one for Sasha. Okay, apart from the Tomahawk, your weapons kind of suck. I mean, wind is, heal staff. So yeah, this city is full of criminals. It's run by a corrupt noble who whips people into unconsciousness, and it also has, like, actual human trafficking in it, and stolen goods. And would you believe me if I said this isn't actually the worst town in this game? I talked about that Orcus village that was a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Yeah, there is a place in Liberia that is even worse than Senay. We'll be seeing that a bit later.